Last night, as we all saw, Joe Burrow hurt his throwing hand, and when he attempted to pass on the sideline, it just dropped out of his palm. Shortly after that, Zach Taylor, well, first he was ruled out, and then Zach Taylor, after the game, commented saying that it is a sprained wrist. Now, Noah, we got a glimpse of what this Bengals offense looks like without Joe Burrow. We got a glimpse of what it was like without T. Higgins. If T. Higgins is not back as well, these are two major pieces. What is your first thought on what this Bengals offense looks like without Joe Burrow as far as fantasy goes?
It's tough. It's a tough look for the Bengals offense. Their defense suffered some injuries as well. It was a rough night all around for Cincinnati. It's hard for me to believe they can make a playoff push without Joe Burrow here, gearing up. 7-8 weeks left in the season. If he's maybe out for 3 or 4, and I don't know if they can make it as a 9-win team into the playoffs in the AFC, as they're already a little bit on the outside looking in. It's tough. Just last week, the AFC North was all 4 of the teams were in the playoffs. And now we're looking at this and things have shaken up a bunch. We'll talk about it a little more in the news, but I'm concerned. Jamar Chase obviously scores a last-second garbage time touchdown and maybe salvages your night for fantasy. Tyler Boyd doesn't really do a whole lot. He gets a handful of targets and a few catches. The biggest benefactor was Joe Mixon. So for fantasy football,
For sure.
Joe Mixon will be certainly looking to carry a little bit more of the load and a stronger piece going forward to close out the season. But man, this is a tough look for the Bengals offense that we're usually used to seeing be so high powered, explosive, big plays. With Jake Browning, the most explosive play they had the whole night with him was his own rush for 25 yards or something like that.
Right.
The few minutes left in the game, and so it doesn't look good. I don't think this team makes the playoffs. I don't think this team really has a shot in the division anymore. It's very disappointing. We obviously don't know the severity, but without Joe Burrow in this team in this lineup, it's going to be very, very difficult going forward in NFL terms and in fantasy football terms.
Yeah, and Jake Browning, I think, got his first NFL snap in week 1 when the Bengals were getting blown out. And it's not like this is some veteran journeyman that's going to help try to support the Bengals, and maybe when Burrow's back, they can make that playoff push. No, this is basically a rookie. This is no offense to Jake Browning, but like this is a nobody that's going to try to handle this high-powered offense, and it feels like bad news. Bad news for Jamar Chase owners. Bad news for T. Higgins when he's back. Bad news for Tyler Boyd. And the only good news is Joe Mixon. Like, there were a few times I was looking around and the cut was made by, and I was like, who? Like, some of these Bengals pass catchers, I was like, I don't think I knew your name. So I have low expectations for the Bengals offense. And I mean, it might be too little too late. Maybe you can try to sneak in some trade to get rid of a Bengals player. I mean, is it worth it to get rid of Bengals players while you can? Or do you ride this out and pray that they find the end zone? What do you think?
If you can find a buyer for T. Higgins, even when he's been injured, if you can find a buyer for Tyler Boyd, if someone's interested, and you can get 50 cents on the dollar back, you may as well give it a go. I think the only one you need to keep is Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase is not, I don't know if I'll say quarterback proof, but he is one of the most talented players in the NFL. It's kind of like how we're still rolling out Devontae Adams. You know, he's got Aiden O'Connell, but you still roll out Devontae Adams because he's Devontae Adams. I think you still roll out Jamar Chase because he's Jamar Chase. Jake Browning may not be a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, but he's on an NFL roster for a reason. He can get a player the football. He came in cold, it wasn't part of the scheme, wasn't part of the plan for the team this week. Maybe on a long week, extra prep, they have a little bit of a better chance next week, but it doesn't look great. it does not look great for the Bengals fantasy football players going forward and for the Bengals organization for the rest of the season. And it's disappointing because after a rough start, we were all very encouraged, very excited, and now it seems to be a little bit of a letdown. But hey, all that to say, hope you listened to us when we said to trade Nico Collins for Jamar Chase. Because
yeah,
we told you
who's the better quarterback now?
Yeah, we knew it. We knew it was going to happen. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, I predicted this.
Obviously, we did not. But I mean,
I'll close with
it's tough
with
going
this.
forward.
Here's the remaining schedule for the Cincinnati Bengals: Pittsburgh Steelers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Indianapolis Colts, Minnesota Vikings, Pittsburgh Steelers, and they close out the fantasy football season against the Chiefs. You think Jake Browning is going to be able to pull off enough for Jamar Chase?
Yeah, I think he's stoked to hang out with TJ Watt twice in the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And then Chris Jones and the entire Chiefs defense. That'll be fun. And then Josh Allen on the Jaguars and
yeah, I
whatever. Jake Browning's gonna beat the Colts. I'll call that one now. Who knows?
Well, I do wonder if maybe there is a reason to trade Jamar Chase and someone that's going to try to buy low and give you a really good wide receiver too. But you let us know in the comments. Are you going to try to buy low on any of these Bengals wide receivers? Or are you trying to trade them while you can? Because it is bleak in Cincinnati. It is not looking good.
Yeah, let's do this. Not looking good for maybe Jamar Chase, some of these Bengals skill players, but with Jamar Chase, let's do this. Would you take in return knowing that Joe Burrow will get a little more clarity, but that injury didn't look like he was going to be throwing the ball anytime soon, anywhere close to what he can? Would you take Marquise Brown for Jamar Chase right now? If someone wants to take that risk and get Jamar from you?
With the hope that Kyler Murray plays as well as he did and gets that connection, I need to sit on it. I need to sleep on it, but there's a chance, there's a shot that I do.
I think I would too. I think I would. I think that's somewhere
it's tough.
That's the upside is there, the opportunity is there. I think that's a good trade potentially if you need to do that. Hey, would you trade? Would you take Noah Brown in exchange for Jamar Chase right now?
Don't set me up with another Texans wide receiver, man. It's going to come back and bite me again on TikTok. I can't do this. No, I would not. I would not trade Jamar Chase for Noah Brown. Yeah.
I would not either. That was you're right, Wes. That was a little bit of a setup just to see where we went there. Last one I'll talk about here. Let's see. Would you trade Jamar Chase for? Let's do this. Another wide receiver who just lost their starting quarterback for the season as well. Would you trade Jamar Chase for Amari Cooper right now?
I might bite on that because I saw what Amari Cooper did last year with Jacoby Brissett, and I'm not going to sit here and say either PJ Walker nor Dorian Thompson-Robinson are as good as Jacoby Myers, but I've seen Amari Cooper put up big stats with a number of quarterbacks, so I might go there. I might say yes to that.
Yeah, that might be what I'm worth. That might be what I'm worth doing as well. So, if you guys there, if you're just lost and you're hoping to get something for Jamar Chase, maybe a few people you can make offers for there, some options. It's tough. And congratulations to Joe Mixon owners. You just got probably a back end RB1 for the remainder of the season now. So
truly,
it's pretty crazy.